Wednesday Show. Wednesday Show. Wednesday Show. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Hello. I don't know if you can hear me or if you're even there. Okay, how's everyone doing? We got some people who are slowly getting on there. So hopefully we have a few people on tonight. Tonight we're going to be going through, we're going to be answering your questions about anything and everything Disney. It is my final day here in Wisconsin. So we're going to be doing about a half-hour episode tonight, maybe a little bit longer. We are coming to you a little bit late today too, because I just was over at my brother's house and we just spent a little bit more time with my nieces and nephews. So we got a little bit later start than I originally planned to do. Hopefully is the chat. There we go. The chat room is working for Eric tonight. Perfect. All right. So let's get this party started. We're going to jump right into it. We're going to start the 728th episode of the Wednesday Show in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 728th episode of the Wednesday Show. Today is August 2nd, 2023. I had to check the year, but I didn't have to check the date. And I'm your host, as always, Brent Dodge. Hello. Today, hey, Matt. Today, we're going to be going through and answering your questions about anything and everything Disney. So make sure you start throwing your questions into the comments below. But of course, before we get to that, let's talk about our news for the week. First off, thank you everyone who's been joining us for our Saturday in the Park. If you didn't already know, every single Saturday over on the YouTube channel, we do a live broadcast from someplace found throughout the Walt Disney World Resort. You never know where we're going to be, but we are always coming to you live from Disney. We are going to be bringing this back this coming up Saturday, so make sure you join us at 1 o'clock Eastern Time here on the YouTube channel, live from Disney World. I'm not sure exactly where we're going to be that day, but make sure you join us. I promise you we will be someplace in Disney. Also, as always, tonight's episode is sponsored by It's All About the Mouse Travel. Make sure you stop by it'sallaboutthemousetravel.com for all of your Disney travel needs. All their services are absolutely, positively, 100% free. So make sure you book with them for your next Disney vacation. Let me put that up there. There we go. It's all about the mouse travel. It's all about the mouse travel. Jazz hands. Okay, so today we're going to be going through and we're going to be answering your questions about anything and everything Disney. Also, if you did not join us last week, or if you've never joined us prior to last week over the course of the years, we are coming to you from my childhood bedroom here in Wisconsin. So we did miss the last 2 weeks in Florida, and we will be going back tomorrow. So make sure you join us for that. But what we are going to do is we're going to start this off with some questions from my Patreon pals, just to get us started. While we go through their questions, start throwing your questions in the comments, and we will go through as many questions as possible. Okay, let's start off with a question from Eric. I have not actually looked at these. I should have prepped. With the Disney Treasure coming next summer, what are some themed areas you would love to see, and what room themes would you like? Ooh, I like that question. Okay, so we already know, we just had the announcement last week that we are going to be having Peter Pan along with Captain Hook on the back of the ship, painting the Disney Treasure on the back of the ship like we've had in the past. We've had Goofy, Donald, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, Dumbo, Sorcerer Mickey, and Rapunzel do it, and now we're going to have Captain Hook along with Peter Pan on the back of the ship as well. I would love, first off, I'm a huge fan of Peter Pan, so I would love to have it. So if we had a Peter Pan themed room or rooms, I think that'd be great. In addition to that, having Aladdin, I think a very cool. Have we announced what character is going to be in the atrium yet? I'm drawing a big blank right now. It would be cool if you had Aladdin with the lamp, considering it's a treasure. I think that'd be a pretty cool one. I think anytime that we can have any type of theming with treasures. So obviously Peter Pan is a good one with, Captain Hook and pirates and their idea of treasures. And then also having the idea of Aladdin, who has to search for the treasure over in the Cave of Wonders. I'm trying to think of other characters that go for treasures besides like things like Treasure Planet, which I really don't think it is Aladdin and Jasmine on the Carpet. Okay, that's right. What other characters really go after treasure? I don't know, but I think it would be really cool to have it. So if we go through and we get just a nice little variety of characters who are kind of treasure bound characters, it'd be cool if we had a themed area that was around, that would be around Treasure Planet, just because I feel like Treasure Planet does not get enough love. I think it's a great film, and I think it'd be really cool to actually give it some love on the ship due to the fact that it is the treasure ship. I also want to see some really cool little themed areas for Treasure Island, which was the first ever live action Disney film. So anything with like that idea of adventure and searching for things like that would be really cool. But obviously, me being a huge DuckTales fan too, almost every single episode of DuckTales is them heading off and trying to find a treasure. So if we had a DuckTales themed area, like jumping into the money bin, that would be cool. That's the number one thing I want to see on the ship right now. All right, keep on throwing your questions into the comments below, and we will go through them. We still have a few more questions that we'll go through from the Patreon pals. This next one is from Matt. What do you think of the smokestacks that are found on Tiana's place? So if you didn't see this past week, they did announce that there are brand new smokestacks on top of Tiana's Palace over in Disneyland. This is going along with the idea of us having Tiana's Bayou Adventure coming to Disneyland next year as one of the brand new attractions. In addition to that, we have New Orleans Square over there, and having New Orleans Square over there, of course, is going to get a little bit of a transformation to help throw in the idea of this, you know, the whole transformation of the area. Hello. That's, by the way, I have now seen this cartoon, Mobile Grannies, or Granny Mobile. Great cartoon. Absolutely love it. So I think having the whole transformation of having New Orleans Square being kind of transformed into this idea of a blended atmosphere with Tiana's Place, along with the idea of the flume ride being themed around Princess of the Frog. Now, that picture of the smokestack was unbelievable. It made me so much more excited about it. Even though it was a real life picture, it felt like I was looking at an animated picture, which I love. I love having any time that you actually are able to feel like you're actually inside the movie. That's A-OK in my book. Oh, hey, again, if you guys have any questions, throw your questions in the comments below. We are answering any and all questions. We still have 2 more questions from the Patreon pals, but if you guys start throwing questions in, we will go to your questions because only 2 people are asking questions on here. All right, we're going to go to our next question, which is from Eric. You can only watch 5 things on Disney Plus or other Disney media not on there for the rest of your life. What are you picking? Oh, that's a good Candle Shoe. Wait, can it be a whole series? Oh, because then, as much as I love Candle Shoe, I would have the Imagineering Story, because I think the Imagineering Story is one of the best, if not the best, Disney series that's ever been done. I would probably choose something that has a long lot of episodes, just to have it so I can go through and, you know, not get sick of the same thing over and over again. I might actually throw Candle Shoe in there because I think Candle Shoe is a great film. I've watched Candle Shoe many times on Disney Plus. Probably one of the things that I've watched the most on Disney Plus. But I'm not sure if I would put it on the top 5 things I would have to watch over and over and over again. And then, what are the other shows? I really like Loki. I might throw Loki on there. I think that's a great film or a great series, and I'm excited for season 2. Plus, do I get like second season, third season, and fourth season if they do all those seasons as well? Like, is that all incorporated into my top 5 for the things that I got to keep forever and ever and ever? That's 3. I'll do Loki. Yeah. So we got Loki. Wait. Imagineering Story, Candle Shoe. I want to throw a classic film in there, so I'm going to throw Peter Pan in there, and then The Love Bug. Love Bug's a good film. It's a long film, so let's do those 5. Those 5 for now. But now that I'm going to be thinking about it, I'm going to have to try to. There might be more. All right, let's go to a few questions in the chat room. So again, if you guys have any questions, throw them down there. Okay, we're going to go to Mance here. Have you watched Secret Invasion? I'm guessing, right? Secret Invasion, that's what you're asking. I have seen Secret Invasion. I really enjoyed Secret Invasion. I also can see why some people who love Marvel and have read the comics might not like Secret Invasion, because I heard about what like the comic book storyline was compared to the show storyline, and it does sound like that. Yeah. Wait. Simpsons lots of episodes would be. That's a great one. But yeah, so I really enjoyed Secret Invasion. I thought it was a great storyline. I thought the acting was great. I thought the action was great. I also like the fact that it wasn't all action, but it was a lot of like thinking, because I think we need more shows like that. And I think that's one of the things that made Loki so good, like especially that final episode. That was not like a big battle, but instead it was like this long monologue. And it was just a really cool monologue, kind of having it. So we went through and like learned more about this character. But for Secret Invasion, personally, I have not read the comic book storyline of Secret Invasion. So for me, the show was really well done. But then when I found out what the storyline was in the comics, I was like, oh, I can see why people were really upset with the path that they went, because the comic storyline does sound like it goes on a very cool path opposed to what actually happened on the television series. So I think it's kind of a hit or miss on depending on, if you've seen it or if you've not, or if you read the comics or whatnot. But for me, I really enjoyed Secret Invasion. I am hoping for us to see more stuff like that in the future. But at the same time, like I said, if I had known what the comic storyline is, I probably wouldn't have been as excited about it. Okay. Keep throwing your questions into the comments below. We're going to continue going through your questions. We'll go to our final Patreon one on the side here. And then we're going to go through and answer your questions. If you guys aren't throwing questions, this is going to end pretty soon here. So we have 18 minutes left of the show, but if we don't get any more questions, it's going to end a lot sooner, unfortunately. So keep on throwing your questions in the comments. Here's our question number whatever. Now with Tom Staggs and Kevin Mayer back in the company, what do you see happening? I would love to see them being co-CEOs. I've always been a huge fan of Tom Staggs and thought he should have replaced Iger before he left the company. Yes, I want to see Tom Staggs as sole CEO. I think he would be great as just the CEO in general. Now, the problem with Tom Staggs, not the problem with him, but if you guys don't know the entire storyline about this, Tom Staggs used to be like second in command underneath Bob Iger, along with Bob Chapek. They both had different divisions right below Bob Iger. And then Bob Iger kept on getting his contract renewed and his contract renewed and his contract renewed. And finally, Tom Staggs was getting other offers from different companies for better roles. And so he kind of said, you know what? I thought I was going to be the next CEO, but now they keep on renewing the contract of Bob Iger. And I don't know if I'm actually going to be the CEO or if they're just going to keep on extending his role as CEO forever and ever and ever. And so he left. And then a few years later is when Bob Iger stepped down and he was replaced by Bob Chapek. And now just this past week, we did get word that Tom Staggs is back. And I really hope that he does become CEO. I always liked what he did the first time around with the company. I thought he, one, was a fan of the actual Disney brand, opposed to just being like a mindless drone in a business suit. So whenever you have it, so someone's actually a fan of the Disney company, or is at least has the same process that people like Walt Disney had or Michael Eisner or whatnot. When you have different people who are like that, it makes it more exciting to actually have it so that they're running the company because they understand the values that have been put into the company for years and years and years and years and years. So when we go through and have those, when we have those different people who are in charge, it does make things a lot more exciting as a consumer and a fan of Disney because I'm curious what's going to happen in the future with the whole situation because Bob Iger just did extend his contract as CEO again after he came back by another year and a half. So I'm thinking that maybe this is Bob Iger's idea is when he goes through and has it so he comes back with the company. I wonder if maybe this is Bob Iger's ultimate plan of like, hey, we try to have it so he would take over in the future or in the past, and that didn't exactly happen. So maybe we'll go through and actually have it so we have it so he takes over sometime in the near future. So I'm curious exactly what's going to happen, but I kind of have a feeling. I kind of have a feeling of what's going to happen, but yeah. So he was essentially the CFO of the company a while ago. I just saw Matt saying, what did Tom say spills? So he was the CFO. He was also in charge of like the parks division, and he did amazing things while he was in those roles. So I'm thinking that maybe sometime in the near future, we'll kind of go from there. He didn't exactly, like, he was an Imagineer. He didn't really go through and build things, but he was, he worked with the company for quite some time. So he was an operating officer. He was a CFO. He was a lot of different things for Disney throughout the years. He worked in merchandise, and then he eventually went on to be working with the actual theme park unit itself. So he was like the guy who's greenlighting projects like, I think he was Galaxy's Edge and Marvel Campus and all those other things. So overall, he did a lot of really cool things throughout the years for the company. So we'll see what happens in the near future. Keep throwing your questions into the comments below. We've got one more question coming up right now. So just keep on throwing your questions out, and depending on how many questions we get, that's going to depend when we end the show. Have you seen Haunted Mansion yet? What did you think? I liked it. I have not seen it yet. I have been spending as much time as possible with my family. We were talking about possibly seeing it at one point this week, and then when I am on vacation, I do not really relax too much. I sleep in a lot. I've been sleeping in a lot, but every single day I have seen someone, and I've spent a lot of time not here, but actually like even today, I drove an hour one way to go see my grandpa and have lunch with my grandpa. Then we came back here for about 10 minutes, and then we drove an hour the opposite way to go see my brother and have dinner at my brother's place and spend time with my nieces and nephew. So I haven't really had any time to see it yet. I have been avoiding anything about this movie like crazy. I am kind of thinking maybe I'll see it tomorrow. I'm not positive. I might not. It might not be until next Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday on my days off that I'll see it. But I fly in tomorrow, and depending on when my flight lands, if it lands on time, I will have enough time to get over to Magic Kingdom and ride at least one ride. But if I don't, then there's a possibility that maybe I can make it over to Disney Springs and watch Haunted Mansion over there. So it really kind of comes down to my flight tomorrow. But I'm thinking most likely it won't be tomorrow. It'll most likely be next week on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Sleeping and forget about that loss. Those kids deserved it, though. I mean, oh my gosh, they are so unbelievably good. Especially, like you said, watching those kids go from, well, the very first ever badminton tournament. This is about the badminton tournament for anyone who's wondering. So I come up here every July/August for our family's annual badminton tournament. It's called the Golden Shuttlecock Tournament Quest for the Dodge Cup. And my brother and I were undefeated for the first 12 years. I think it was the first 12 tournaments. My brother and I won every single one. And then 3 years ago, or 3 tournaments ago, 2 years ago, my brother wasn't able to play. I played with a different brother. We got kicked out and we got 3rd place. And then last year, these 2 kids who are now 18 and 19 last year, 19 and 20 this year, they beat us last year, then they beat us this year as well. But watching them go through this progression since they were little kids in the very first tournament, they were literally like shouting from the side of the court, "Can I play? Can I play? Come on!" And they've gone from that to us getting destroyed by them. And not destroy. I mean, we lost by like 4 points in the last game. So, all right, keep throwing your questions out there. If anyone else out there has a few more questions, we got about 10 more minutes to go through and answer any and all questions that you guys have about Disney. Let me go over here. We'll see if there's any other questions that I missed on the Patreon page. Where is it? There we go. How's the badminton tournament? There we go. I just kind of answered the badminton tournament. We got 2nd place. So better than third, but worse than what I wanted. Oh, yeah, it looks like that might be the last question that we have from the Patreon people. So keep throwing your questions out there. I'm also trying to think of Simpsons is a great idea for what you would bring for the top 5, because there are like 400 episodes, 420 episodes. Let's ask Google. How many episodes of The Simpsons are there? 750? That much? Holy cow. I was way off. That's unbelievable. There are 750 episodes of The Simpsons. I would throw The Simpsons on my list. I've always enjoyed The Simpsons, and that's a long, long, long time. I have a friend who can't stand his job. He wants to work for Disney. Any recommendations? Yes. Your friend should have it. So let's give him a shout out. And then maybe some people on here will follow him on his YouTube channel, so you can make more money on YouTube. Brent Dodge, is that what you're talking about? Oh, I had one of the people who I work with wrote to me earlier today. And let's see what they said. This has also just become like let's talk about Brent's personal life today. They literally just wrote down how much longer, sad face. And I said, I unfortunately work Friday unless my flight gets canceled. So yeah, I unfortunately will be going back to work on Friday in 2 days. And actually, holy cow. So in 48 hours from right now, I will still be at work. And I will be talking about how we only have half an hour left until I can close the doors. So unless the flight gets canceled, or unless I call and say the flight got canceled. That's kind of smart too. I didn't even think about that until just right now. Okay, let's take one or two more questions here before we wrap things up, and I'll go spend some last precious moments with my parents before I leave tomorrow. So if you have a question out there about anything or everything Disney, throw your questions in the comments below, and we will answer them right now. I think that's a good question too, though. Let's go off of that one. So what would be the ideal Disney job? Because I had someone ask me this a long time ago when I sat over here writing my very first book. I always thought one of the coolest ideas of a job would be going through and being Sorcerer Mickey at the end of Fantasmic, with the shooting the fireworks off. I always thought that'd be the coolest job. I think that's like one of the coolest jobs on Disney property. The Making Millions didn't hit for you. They didn't hit for me either. My mom made $4 though. So if you need some money, that's who you want to go for. You want to work as a CEO? I would not want to work as a CEO. Too much work. Give me a job that I would just enjoy, and that would not be extremely stressful. To be fair, I would show the horseman to work for Disney. Honestly, being a custodian was a great job. If I could get paid what I get paid now to be a custodian at Disney, I would go back to being a custodian at Disney. Because it was a great job. It was a great job. You walked around, you got to talk to people all day. It was not a bad one at all. I want to be one of the scuba divers that check the rides. Yes. Remember that the show, the One Day at Disney show where they showed the guy who's the scuba diver who checks like Jungle Cruise and the submarines? What a cool job. A job that I never thought about until I watched that show. And I was like, holy cow, that is amazing. Mickey Premium Bar taste tester for me. I think a really cool job would be one of the entertainment hosts on the cruise ships. I think that would be a great job, at least for someone like me. I think that's like right down my alley for personality-wise. Being a VIP tour guide, another great job. I wouldn't want to take the celebrities around. I would want to do the tours, even though the celebrities ones get like a lot of money. But I would rather do walking around and doing the tours. Let's do this real quick. We've showed this in the past. We will show it again here. This is the computer monitor that from Screen to Theme was actually written on right here. And if you look, all these things right here are the notes that I was having for when I was going through the different stuff. So if you look here, like this says DAC, the Oasis, Discovery Island, Camp Mini Mickey, Africa, Asia, Diamond USA, and Mickey's Jammin' Jungle Parade. So this was me going through and like marking down like, okay, this is the area that I've gone through and talked about. And this is literally every single animated movie ever created. And how many references were in each one. So Snow White had 37, Pinocchio had 28, Fantasia had 38, Dumbo had 16. And then as the books were being written, there was more and more that were added to this list. But that was kind of a preliminary thing. A little behind the scenes there. Ooh. Okay. How did I get my Lego set back? Oh, stole it. I'd say take piano lessons and having dueling pianos at Casey's Corner. That would be so cool. If they had the Disney Family Museum at Walt Disney World, I would do that in a heartbeat. I've actually ridden to the Walt Disney Family Museum and told them they should take over the spot that used to be Disney Quest / the NBA Experience, because they have exactly the same amount of square footage there as they had over in their California location. So I actually heard from like twice saying, hey, this would be a great opportunity for you guys. The only problem is the Walt Disney Family Museum is not owned by the Disney company. It's actually owned by the other. It's owned by actually Walt Disney's family. So it's a completely separate company. So they would actually have to come to a deal on having it so it would actually be on property. But I think it'd be pretty cool. Ricardo, back of your head. Okay. But like I said, this is like the last night in Wisconsin. So I'm going to go and we're going to wrap this up. We're going to do the half-hour episode. It has been 28 minutes right now. So we're going to be wrapping up this episode right here. So as always, tonight's episode is sponsored by It's All About the Mouse Travel. I can't even do it without a ball. Jazz hands. Make sure you stop by. It's allaboutthemousetravel.com for all your Disney travel needs. All their services are absolutely positively 100% free. So make sure you book with them for your next Disney vacation. I'd like to thank everyone out there for joining us once again this week. Please keep on spreading the word about the Wednesday show and from Screen to Theme. Invite anyone and everyone to join the group on Facebook or to subscribe over on YouTube. And of course, as always, remember that anything can happen if you let it. Until next week when we're back in Florida, we'll see you guys all a little later. Bye-bye. Goodbye now. Goodbye. Goodbye now. Bye-bye. Goodbye now. Are they gone? Are they gone? Oh, good. My cheeks are just killing me. I just can't stand this kind of pressure.